Well, India's IT capital seemed to be cracking under pressure, and not from the booming growth, but from buckling infrastructure and extreme weather. Let's start in Hyderabad, where relentless monsoon rains have swamped major roads, crippled commuters, and even claimed a life. The IT corridor, once a symbol of progress, now lies choked with water traffic and mounting frustration. Areas in the IT corridor have been impacted, which include Madhapur, Gachibowli, Hitec City, Kondapur and Miyapur, which are the worst hit with waterlogging and long jams. Rainwater also gushed through Jubilee Hills, Panjagutta and Secunderabad, leaving commuters stranded. The rains also claimed the life of 27-year-old Mohammed Shafruddin from Mushirabad, who drowned in floodwaters while returning home. Miyapur recorded the highest rainfall at nearly 98 millimeters, while Lingampalli and University of Hyderabad saw more than 80 millimeters of rainfall. The IMD has issued an orange alert for several districts of Telangana, warning of heavy to very heavy rain throughout the weekend. Heavy rains have, in fact, paralyzed Hyderabad last night. The heavy showers, especially in the IT corridor, had resulted in flooding of the roads, especially those at Hitec City, at Miyapur, Gachibowli and surrounding areas. Rainwater also gushed through Jubilee Hills, Panjagutta and Secunderabad as well. Several commuters were stranded in last night's rains, and the big question being asked is that why the infrastructure to drain out the water did not in fact work, as the city saw huge traffic jams as people were trying to return to the safety of their homes. There has been a death that has also been reported because of this massive flooding and waterlogging that had taken place in Hyderabad. The big question that is being looked at is whether the infrastructure or the key drains that are supposed to work, why it was not working. And also the fact remains is that what kind of infra policy decisions led to this kind of flooding, especially as Miyapur, which is in the IT corridor, had 98 millimeters of rainfall last night. This had resulted in severe traffic jam and waterlogging in a lot of the roads in Miyapur that led towards Hyderabad as well as towards Secunderabad. Officials had to in fact struggle to control the traffic in the area. Police were in fact present on the roads trying to regulate the traffic that was coming in. Most of the traffic had to negotiate through knee-deep water in certain areas. However, it was also reported that water was also flowing through certain sections of the city and washed away roads, as well as created a situation which resulted in the police in fact ensuring barricades had to be put in place so that vehicles do not fall into certain sections of the road that have been completely washed away and could have been quite dangerous for the commuters. Rainwater also gushed through some of the poshest areas in the city, that is Jubilee Hills, Panjagutta, as well as areas in Secunderabad. The rains also claimed the life of 27-year-old Mohammed Shafruddin from Mushirabad, who drowned in the floodwaters while he was returning home. In fact, Miyapur is one of those places where the rainfall had resulted in 98 millimeters. Lingampalli and Hyderabad University also in fact saw 80 millimeters of rainfall. The IMD meanwhile has issued an orange alert for several districts in Telangana, warning of heavy to very heavy rainfall throughout the weekend. Meanwhile, traffic woes were completely on the ground when people from the IT corridor tried to reach their homes. Several roads had chock-a-block traffic, and many of these roads were also waterlogged with waist-deep water in many of these areas as well. Some of the areas in the IT corridor that has been completely been submerged are that in Miyapur, in Gachibowli, Waterlogging was also reported in certain areas of the Hitec City area as well. Kondapur as well as Madhapur also saw some of its worst waterlogging incidents as well as long jams. Many of the IT professionals had to in fact spend their time for long hours in their cars before they could reach home, and also they had to negotiate the waterlogging on the roads and the chock-a-block traffic because of the heavy rains. Authorities were not able to immediately address several issues, but big questions being asked about why the drains in Hyderabad, especially in the IT corridor, which is one of the recent areas of development, have not worked. Some of these drains were overwhelmed with the water, and many of them hint that the silt in certain areas were not removed in time. That could have resulted in the water being blocked and later accumulating in the drains and then spilling over onto the roads. Waterlogging was also reported from Jubilee Hills, Panchagutta and Secunderabad areas as well. The rains also claimed one life of a 27-year-old. Lingampalli as well as University of Hyderabad saw 80 millimeters of rainfall. The IMD has issued orange alert for several districts as of now because of the rainfall that was seen last night and the pattern of weather that is now on top of the Telangana region. The IT corridor is the worst affected by the rains. Meanwhile, efforts have been going on to drain the waters from the area. However, many of them asking as to why the roads were completely inundated, especially with waist-deep water in many parts of that city. The question being raised as to why the drains are not working in the Hitec area. The Hitec area of Hyderabad is, or rather the Hitec City area and the IT corridor of Hyderabad are the areas that have recently been developed and is set to be properly planned according to the planners of the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, and those areas are the areas that saw the worst of flooding that could have been, and those areas also resulted in traffic jams from the outskirts of the city towards its interiors as well.